Certainly when I won my first election in 2000, I never would have imagined that it would have extended my term of service for almost 2 decades, and all of the things that would have transpired over the course of that time. Of course, it was the fight to stop the airport at El Toro that was the catalyst for me getting involved in political life.
And you have my pledge that as your mayor, we will defend by any and all means necessary the interests of our city, our citizens, and the citizens of Orange County who expressed their intent through Measure W to ensure that our interests in developing the Orange County Great Park are not compromised by outside interests.
That we were able, within the first 2 years that I was on the council, to draft and pass Measure W and to stop the airport and end that threat to the community is probably my greatest source of pride in terms of a really monumental effort that I was able to be a part of. I remember after Measure W passed being out at the base and finally being able to take in the entire landscape, because it really had been a battleground, and now it was this extraordinary opportunity on the cusp of being realized, and that was incredibly exciting. And seeing people come out and embrace the opportunity to create something extraordinary for the people of Orange County.
What excites me is that we are activating the park early, rather than just sequestering the land and slowly building a park and planning an opening day way out in the future somewhere. I want a beautiful park with all of the amenities that people would expect in a great metropolitan park, but at the end of the day, just as buildings don't make communities, people make communities. It won't be the fields and the terraces and the corridors that will make the park. It's the people who will make the park. So I'm excited that people have been such an important part of this park planning process, and that now they're getting to enjoy the park as it evolves.
We have been a leader in innovation, our development of the Community Land Trust. We were the first city in Orange County to adopt a green building ordinance. We were the first city to implement a citywide circulator, the iShuttle.
That's going to be great for everybody else who's on the road, but it's going to be really important to the quality of life of people who live and work down here in the IBC.
All of these things, fighting for transit access, for better bike trails, protection of the open space, and being able to participate in the dedication of so many pieces of the open space, as well as, frankly, the Irvine Company's dedication of nearly half their ranch as permanently preserved open space to serve the people of Orange County, has been amazing.
Just coming out onto Bomber Canyon today and looking around, feeling the sense of isolation and tranquility is of tremendous value in a world that is often too busy and too complicated, and where our residents really need the ability to get away to places that are in their own backyard. And so I'm very excited about it.
It's just a privilege to be here at a time when the ideas of prior leadership, the investment of the community back in the 80s is really beginning to take shape. And I just want to invite all of you to follow closely as this project evolves, to stay a part of it. And while I will not meet you at the Greenway, I do look forward to meeting you at the Jeffrey Open Space Trail in the future. Thank you. This is a historic trail in many ways. First of all, it is a trail in which people can celebrate the history of our city and learn about the history of our city. But it's also historic in the sense that more than 25 years ago, the citizens of Irvine had the foresight to recognize that if we didn't preserve our open space, we would lose a lot of what made Irvine a wonderful community. And 100 years from now, people will be using this trail, also looking back and thanking the people of Irvine for their vision in 1988 and for the vision going forwards. I just hope the people of this community and all of the communities of Orange County will continue to take advantage of all of the open space resources we have. This is a precious jewel.
Irvine is a city that can do it all. And while I reject the notion that investments in programs for people are not justifiable investments, I will say that even in the economic downturn, which I was very pleased to have helped put Irvine in a strong position to sustain itself through. We treated our employees in a way that I was very proud of. We continued to serve our community in a way that I was very proud of. So I hope that for as long as I'm a resident here and well beyond that, Irvine will always demonstrate that we are a fortunate community. We do have the resources. We're the economic hub of Orange County. And that how we deploy those resources will affect the way people's quality of life is experienced on a daily basis.
This is a very exciting trade mission to be taking, especially at this time when, for economic reasons, we really need to strengthen our relationships with countries that already have a commercial presence here in our community, but where we know there are opportunities to expand that. This is a wonderful new affordable housing project here in the city of Irvine, developed through a partnership with Jamboree Housing, City of Irvine, the Irvine Community Land Trust, the County of Orange. So it's a great example of what can happen when we all come together to look for ways to provide a full spectrum of housing for the people here in our community.
It was very exciting to see how many people were already coming in on that first day and had heard about the Solar Decathlon. But looking at those houses, each one very unique, each a work of art in its own way, and then going through the houses, what struck me that first day and what struck me every other occasion that I had to be out there was just the enthusiasm of these young people and the brilliance of these college students who had been involved in creating these houses.
I have pointed out that buildings don't make communities, people make communities. And while I certainly plead guilty to being a public official, a politician, I've preferred to think of myself as a community builder. So I think my focus will always be on the human side of our community. Are people in this city feeling equally supported? Are the programs and resources to make their lives better or more enjoyable being provided for by our city? Are we, as a municipal entity, working to help bridge awareness, familiarity, helping people see that we have this unique platform as a global community, that we are a city comprised of people from all parts of the world, that we can be a model of how people live together, work together, and enjoy recreation together without a lot of the conflict and chaos that we see throughout our country and throughout the globe.
I think one of the extraordinary things here in the city of Irvine is that we really are a tremendous reflection of the greatest aspirations of Martin Luther King. We really are a community in which people of many cultures, many colors live side by side in peace and harmony. It's very inspiring to see these young people working so hard, and as one of the participants said the other day, you know, it's not just about the sport, it's also about the relationships, it's about developing a broader sense of the world. And so I think for those that are participating, it's going to be an extraordinary event. I live in University Park, and so my kids grew up coming to Adventure Playground when Adventure Playground was known a little bit more for the large mud pit. One of the features, certainly that was not here 25 years ago, is this lovely sensory garden. Parents can sit, watch their kids. So I think this is going to be a very popular part of the Adventure Playground.
I don't know what people would say my legacy is. I have been most proud of the fact that people regard me as an accessible and effective public official. Amongst those that have stopped me in recent months as they've learned that I won't be returning to the council, what I've heard many, many times is, you spoke to my child's class, you were a great role model for our kids, you demonstrated why public service is something to aspire to be a part of. So I would like to think that my legacy is to demonstrate that you can be part of a community. I didn't get a degree in political science. I was in many ways just a mom, a local business owner. You can see a need in your city, you can step forward in a variety of ways to try and contribute productively to solving the challenges that are before you. And it's a very satisfying experience. So maybe my legacy is, at a time when politicians are getting very low marks and people, I think, generally are disinclined to get involved in public service, hopefully my legacy is that people will look at who I am, what I've done, and how I've done it, and said, you know what, I'd like to help my community. I'd like to step forward and serve my community in one way or another. I like the way Beth Krom did it, and I'd like to do it as well.
We are a strong community, fiscally sound and well-maintained. We are in an enviable position by any standard. That said, we must never cease to aspire to greater things, for it has been our ability to dream big dreams that has allowed us to continue achieving them. The year ahead may be filled with uncertainties, but the efforts we have invested in planning for those uncertainties gives me great confidence that we will rise to meet any challenge. As we enter this year, I look forward to working with the City Council and all our community partners to balance the needs of our community in ways that contribute to an affirmative vision for Irvine's future. I want to thank each and every one of you, those of you here in attendance at the Civic Center and those of you at home, for the many ways that you yourselves invest in helping to make Irvine a great place to live, to work, to play, and to be mayor. Thank you.